is Allison Kusher.
And Cindy Zariello.
With the Grafton Public Library. We're partnering with GCTV to produce our Ask Me Anything series in cooperation with our Tales and Tales Summer Reading Program. For more information on the library summer reading program, go to our website, graftonlibrary.org, or sign up directly for the virtual program on Beanstack, graftonlibrary.beanstack.com, or you can download the Beanstack app. This reading program is happening all summer long, and it's for all ages. From kids, teens, and adults, there's something for everyone.
As you might imagine from our theme of Tales and Tales, our Ask Me Anything series is about animals. We'll be interviewing many different animal lovers to find out what they do and how they interact with their animal. We hope you learn a lot about the various animals we'll be bringing to you, and come into the library if you'd like more information about any animal or just to come visit us. Today we'll be interviewing Emily from Quite Fitching. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you. This is going to be fun. Thank you for having me.
Yes, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Quite Fetching?
So as you mentioned, my name is Emily. I am the owner of Quite Fetching Barkery and Pet Boutique, located at our beautiful town center. We've been in business about 4 years. I guess that's 1 year for every dog that I am now responsible for in my world. So yeah, we are a full service dog bakery. There's not many of us around, so we're really happy to be doing what we're doing.
So what made you want to become a full person, whatever?
A dog baker.
So what made you want to actually become a dog baker?
You know, when I first moved to Grafton, it was my dog Rags and I was doing a completely different thing for a job and a career. And when I was done with that job and career, at the end of the day, I wanted to go somewhere with my pup and my boy, and there wasn't really anywhere to go. And so in the back of my mind, I was always like, I need to create something. I need to create a community of dog moms and dog dads, so we can kind of get together and talk about all these things. Because my dog at the time was becoming a senior, and there's all sorts of feelings that go along with that. And so that's just kind of how it evolved. One day I had come home from work. We were doing a little fundraiser in memory of Rags. He had passed away in between the transition. And I was baking dog cookies, and my phone with work stuff kept ringing off the hook, and I just looked at the dog cookies, and I looked at my husband, and I said, I think I want to do this. And so now I do this.
So do you have a secret recipe for the dog cookies, or how did you come up with the recipes? Do you only have one or a bunch?
So we've got a few. We've expanded quite a bit, but we still have our two main cookies, and they're named after my girls, Flower and Bella. Bella loves anything, really. She's a lab. But she really enjoyed the peanut butter treats that we would give her. So we made a little peanut butter one for her, in her name. And then Flower loved sweet potato. Not so big on peanut butter, believe it or not. And so we made a sweet potato cookie. So now we have Flower's favorites and Bella's biscuits, and those tend to be the staple of our barkery and how it got started. And now we just have a lot of fun. We've been able to create that community of dog lovers. We tell a lot of tales about our tales as well. It's been quite a process and quite a journey, and we're loving every single step of it. So,
what kinds of things do you need to consider when you create a recipe for dogs?
Allergies and things that are not so great for dogs. We have things that look like chocolate. Obviously, we don't want chocolate in our cookies or in our ingredients. So things like that, we're constantly learning. Actually, different kind of tail, cats, right? So I don't know cats. I don't have cats. So anytime someone asks me for something cat specific, I go to Google. But I also would go to a library, right? I would also go and see what I can find for maybe older recipes that are just buried in a book somewhere that are so wonderful to recreate and find. So we just make sure that we cover our bases as far as allergies. Pups have a very sensitive stomach, a very different stomach than we have. So that's kind of what I look for in making our brand something that the dogs will come back to enjoy.
So you mentioned that people ask about cats. You also have things for cats in Quite Fetching?
We do now. We do.
Ooh, so you
right?
branched out a
We
little
did
bit
a little
more.
bit. A little bit. We do. We have. So we make a cat cake. It's we call it a red velvet. It's beet juice because it's high in fiber for the cats, so it's good. They enjoy it. It's got yogurt, which they love, and we put some salmon and some cod on there, and they just love it. They just love it. So.
Yeah, good.
Speaking of animals, are people allowed to bring dogs into your store?
Oh, absolutely. We encourage the pups to bring their humans.
Oh, that makes sense.
Every now and again, we'll have a dog show up with their human about 4 steps behind, and we say, "Come on in. It's okay. You can come in too." But yeah, we're one of the only places anywhere that I'm aware of that offer off-leash shopping. So the dogs can come in. We have a bucket of toys for them to play with. They run around and they play.
Do they ever get into fights with each other? Or
We've
are they
been-
well behaved?
You know, we've been very fortunate. I think they're a lot like humans, where when you're in a good spot, you don't want to be that one to get kicked out, right? They want to stay where the cake is. If we ever feel as though maybe someone's uncomfortable or a dog is starting to feel a little overwhelmed, we will ask people to leash everybody up. But for the most part, no, we have had, and one of the wonderful things about our business is that we've created relationships and friendships, and so now we see dogs that are best pals coming into the boutique. We just had a tough student actually graduate, because we've been in business 4 full years now, and so she was coming as a freshman, and she had graduated this past May, and she was leaving, and so we called. Masks were still in effect. I think everything was still in effect at that point. And so we called a few of the pups' besties from the original Yappy Hours that we used to do, and they all came to the boutique and played ball. And so, yeah, it was really great to have those connections and those relationships built within our boutique. And the dogs have made equally lasting friendships.
Oh, that's sweet. So with all the dogs there, do you ever have any accidents? Because I'm sure the kids would love to know whether there are any poop accidents.
We do. Well, poop happens, right?
It does.
We pick it up and we move on, right? That's the philosophy of life. But we do. We actually, it happens. You know, it happens. And we actually also keep a waste bucket out in front of our store for when we're closed, just to keep our community and our common clean. If anybody ever needs a poop bag while you're out and about, knock on my door. We're happy to give you one.
That's awesome.
So what's the hardest part of your job?
The hardest part, it's honestly not being there. When people walk by, I get photos. We just took a week off. It's the first week we've had off, and I can't even tell you how long. And I got photos of dogs just laying down in front of my door, refusing to move, because we're part of their daily walk by. We're part of their routine. So now when we leave, I leave a couple of little cookies underneath the mat in the back, and those daily walkers know where they can find that cookie, because it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
These dogs do have personalities.
No, they sure do. They sure do. The videos that people send me when they're pulling up to the common, and then, like I said, laying in front of the door. We actually did a TikTok video recently. I'm nowhere near a TikTok expert. I think it took me like 4 days to do this 10-minute thing that would take probably one of your readers 5 minutes. But it was dogs not wanting to leave the boutique, and they just stand in protest, and you see the collar like, ugh, no, ugh, and they're pulling them across, and they don't want to leave, and it's a happy place to be, and I feel very fortunate and very blessed to be able to go in there and work every day.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. Is there anything else that you think that we should know about what you do, or anything else with the dog life, or what types of products besides dog biscuits do you have in your store?
So we have things for the humans too, although nothing edible. I only bake for the pups. My complaint rate is 0, and I'd like to keep it that way. So nothing for the humans coming out of our oven just yet. But we welcome everyone into our boutique, even if you don't have a pup. If you are visiting Apple Tree Arts and you want to come in and get a little puppy love, come on in. No purchase is necessary to come in and just and just lighten your mood up with a little belly rub for the guests that are in, you know what I mean? They just have good energy, and that just kind of oozes throughout the day and throughout the boutique. So if anyone's having a bad day, pup in hand or not, you can come into the boutique and just share a laugh and take a deep breath and live in the moment like they do.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's great. Our final question for you is, what is your favorite book?
Oh, my favorite book. I'm so busy in the kitchen that I don't have a lot of opportunity to stay current.
It must be a cookbook then, right?
Yes, a cookbook. I would love to actually create a little cookbook for kids. I used to work with children, and I just love engaging the dogs and the children. But being a child at some point myself, a long, long time ago, Judy Blume was always one of my favorites and one of my go-tos. And I was sharing earlier that I used to live in Key West, Florida, and that's where Judy Blume resides. And I saw her at dinner one night, and I was like, it's the only time I've ever been starstruck. Her books were life-changing, they were validating, they were comforting in a time where it's very confusing to a young girl. So she is one of my all-time favorites. And then as an adult, Janet Ivanovich, literally laugh out loud with her Stephanie Plum series. Because if I hadn't been a dog baker, I probably would have been a bounty hunter. So
That makes sense. There's still time.
there is. There's always time, right?
Yes. So if people want to contact you, how can they get in touch with you?
They can contact me direct through the store, 305-304-6139. I still have my Key West area code. Or they can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. We're Quite Fetching Barkery on both of those things. We'd love a follow, just so you can see what we're all about. And we are conveniently located near the library.
Yes.
We're very excited for the reopening of that and to see all of the families and children enjoying the summer reading out and about again. So we're very excited to have you guys back in your location and to have you back on the common.
Yes.
Can't wait to be back.
Yeah, sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching.